before I was an entrepreneur, I was unhappy in my career in the fitness industry and had some different elements of my life that were kind of going through, just the motion of living life and like what we're supposed to be doing, like have a job, do this. Am I going to get married? Am I going to have kids? And all these things were going through my mind through my 20s. And I was in a relationship and I was hiding it.
Hey y'all, welcome back to another episode of the Beauty in You podcast. Our guest today is a visionary in brand storytelling and digital influence. From award-winning filmmaker to CEO of Broadcast Your Authority, she's mastered the art of turning powerful voices into unforgettable movements. Through her agency, she empowers entrepreneurs to amplify their message, build trust, and lead with impact across the digital space. Welcome to the Beauty in You podcast, Tamara. So thank you so much for joining me today on the Beauty in You podcast. I'm super excited to have you.
Yay, I'm so excited to be here. So thank you.
We actually met on Instagram. It's been a year already, I think. 1 year since we've known each other?
I believe so.
Almost.
Yes. Yeah. We connected in 2024, somewhere in between there.
Somewhere in between there. So yeah, I've been super excited to just connect with you and be along with you on your journey as you've been along with me on my journey. And also, I told you last time we met, we were in Vegas and I said, I'm going to be in studio for season 3.
Yes,
and here we are.
Followed through, just like you said you would. You were in our studio at SiriusXM. You came in, you crushed it on our show and Broadcast Your Authority, and then turned around and you're like, I'm going to do this. And I was like, you got this, and you did it. So that's what I love about you, taking that action, girl.
I appreciate you. Thank you for always motivating me and helping me through. But I know you have a wonderful story. I know you are a phenomenal woman entrepreneur. But your story, your background is just, it's just as a part of your journey as you are now. So can you kind of walk me through, call it your rediscovery journey, but can you kind of walk me through your rediscovery journey?
I think it was more like just the discovery journey. The
discovery journey, maybe. And then,
a little bit about the backstory behind it all. I'm an extremely resilient woman today based on a lot of the decisions that I've made in my past. So before I was an entrepreneur, I was unhappy in my career in the fitness industry and had some different elements of my life that were kind of going through, just the motion of living life and like what we're supposed to be doing, like have a job, do this. Am I going to get married? Am I going to have kids? And all these things were going through my mind through my 20s. And I was in a relationship and I was hiding it because I'm gay. And so one of the things that really went through to my deep story was the fact that here I was not out in my 20s and it spiraled into different things, to alcoholism. I was with a woman for about 2.5 years, hid the relationship, and I was dumped basically. Mm-hmm. And so that story, the day I was dumped, I went out for a run and I was actually hit by a car. I had my headphones on. The car failed to stop at the stop sign. I was knocked out for 27 hours. And that journey allowed me to go into a deep depression. One, I couldn't explain to people at the time because I wasn't out how my best friend wasn't there to support me while I was in the hospital because she had dumped me. Yeah. Right. And so that went into a very deep, traumatic experience for me. And then from there, I was like, okay, there's one factor, right? It's hard to come out back then. It was like 20 years ago, right? Mm-hmm. So back then it was a little bit accepted, but it wasn't fully. And it's a little bit more in these days and times, which I'm grateful for. And now I'm a confident woman in who I am. And so that led into other things. So it led into alcoholism. I wanted to be seen, I wanted to be heard, and I wanted people to actually understand where I was. So I started going out to, LGBT communities and bars and drinking a lot. Throughout the course of about 6 years, I stumbled into this capacity of gaining 85 pounds in about a year and going down the alcohol route and feeling like I was seen and heard. And it was literally like going into a bar where you were, it was like cheers where everyone knew your name. And they're like, hi, Cliff, hi, Norm, hi, Tamara. Yeah. And I felt like I felt like that was my tribe, but later on in life, I realized it was not. It was just feeding an addiction and a depression that spiraled. I now have 14 years sober, but there was a lot of things that went through that period of time, that 6 years of spiral, going in and out of jail, being put on house arrest. I was put away for quite a while as well. So I was living in the space with many women, doing my thing, doing my tricep dips off the bunk beds, doing, wall sits, doing lunges across the room daily. Just trying to figure out, like, what did I do to get here? Why did I deserve this? Yes, because I was a nuisance on the road. I could have hurt somebody in an accident or anything. Luckily, I did not. But later on in life, I went back to school for filmmaking. And then I actually sobered up during that journey of filmmaking, which then as soon as I sobered up, I actually started my own business. And so when I was 30, I sobered up. I'm now 44, and I started a company in 2012. So a couple of years after graduating from the film school. And I knew I wanted to do more because I was that girl that was creating these silly YouTube videos back then. I was like, what do we do with this YouTube beast, right? Like, what is this? And it evolved over the years and time to really create a soul path for myself. So I was like, I love this aspect. But I was like, can I make money off of YouTube? Can I make money doing videos? And how can I help support other people's missions? Because I truly love sharing other people's stories. And I have a very deep story myself, and there's so much more in depth with that, but going into a different journey there. But yeah, so once I surpassed that piece of my life and started a company, I always told myself that rock bottom in my life, like nothing else in life or business compares to that. That was my rock bottom. Things in life and business may be hard, but nothing compared to that journey. Like, I'm super resilient because of it and the different things that went on through the experience. Like, a lot of people will say something in business now, like, how'd you do this? Or how'd you do that? Like, I was like, that was easy.
That's the easy part.
That was like nothing. I was like, that wasn't like running into a woman in the prison cell that, was coming down off of, something coming, there's so many different things that, like, in life and business, I've applied my resiliency side to it. And so after I started the production company back in 2012, we literally started to do different types of projects. So some of the systems that we do now with Broadcast Your Authority, short form content leads to long form content, right? But we have a focus around podcasts at this point. But back then it was short form content, teasers and trailer videos, to long form content, branded documentaries for influencers, celebrities, brands, and companies, even entrepreneurs. And so when we started going into that journey for the next step of that side, it's like, I was discovering I wanted to be an entrepreneur, right? So I stepped into this space. And we had this great opportunity to create these several films. And all of a sudden, one of the films went viral, like on the teaser video. So we had 888,000 views in a matter of less than 10 days. And we were like, what happened here? We want to analyze this. We want to see this. We want to see what's going on, because that traffic led back to the long form content for a documentary film. We ended up learning the ins and outs of YouTube back in 2012 and really started fine tuning, like, what is it that people are searching for? What is it that people are resonating with? And how can we work with people more often? So we applied that to the current type of client flow now. But back then, what we did is we put that method onto multiple clients, and multiple of their films and documentaries ended up taking off. And then IndieFlix found us because of it, and they acquired our clients' films. And so that was like a monumental step from sobriety to becoming a business owner, entrepreneur, to then going into later in life, building out teams and focusing a little bit more on that. But that's a little bit more of the beginning of the story. But let me know, like, what pieces you'd like me to kind of jump in and fill in.
First of all, I'm always fascinated because I've been following your journey, and since the time we met, and I'm just so fascinated about all of it. Like, your level of resiliency is amazing. It is amazing. And to watch what you do and to watch how you run your companies. And you're not just the entrepreneur, just like, oh yeah, I run this company. Okay, so-and-so do this, so-and-so do this. You're really involved in that. And I just want to commend you on that. Like, you can really tell that you found your passion and you love what you do. And you guys are doing a great job over there.
Yeah, no, it's one of those things, like when you build a team, you start a business and you're back then, 2012, I was more like the CEO and founder. I wore many hats at that point. But over the years, I had to evolve and delegate out and just really focus on what I was really strong at as a leader and be able to create other leaders within a company, right? And so we've got multiple, I call them leaders in the company, even though they may have the role of like a project manager or a producer or a lead graphic designer or a lead video editor. Everybody has like those leading roles that help support the rest of the team. And so when you're building a company, when you put it in that perspective, I was actually having a conversation on to a mastermind group yesterday. And I was telling individuals, they were asking questions. I was helping assist in some hot seat information. This one company was talking about how they are at like 10 employees and they don't know how to delegate to the next level. And I was like, you have to remove yourself, literally, like you have to remove yourself and you have to put trust. Not everyone's going to be you, but those that like have this control factor, perfectionist qualities, which I did, and I still have to some extent, but I trust the team. I was like, I trust you. You make the decision. I asked, I give feedback, and I allow them to make the final decision because you have to trust somebody to build the skill. So far, we've reached multiple seven figures in our business annually. And so on that front, we're hitting into actually the 8-figure mark. And now we have the potential of doing much more because of what we're doing right now. I can't go into all the details yet, but we're building a significant network and we have a big partnership. 2 days ago, I flew into Utah literally for a meeting in the airport for 4 hours and then flew right back home because I knew of the potential of this multi-million-dollar deal, which we're building into effect right now. Then from that meeting, I literally had the idea to connect this individual with this other individual in the franchising space. And I said, what if we came together on a specific model that we've been mapping out anyways? And I literally texted that individual. I said, I will fly over to Carlsbad, California next week to start this plan. And he's like, you got it. He's over in Lincoln, Nebraska, opening up a 100th franchise for a specific model right now. So it's like, when you get into these things that you're good at, and they call me the connector behind the scenes.
So I was going to talk about that.
Connect the dots, right? And it's not just for your business, but it's for your business, your revenue, your marketing, your YouTube, but also the people in your network, right? And so those types of things have opened up doors for me endlessly because of the give first, or the how can I help you first? And they call it like the go-giver mentality or whatnot, but it's just really just being there to serve people and not lead with the expectation of getting something back. And that's really what's happened with us over the time is like, we have over a team of 40 behind the scenes working in an agency model, right? So my partner and wife, she's the COO of the company. She runs operations of the company. I'm the CEO. We're co-founders of the company. But other things have opened up for us, right? So we have a huge passion to helping women business owners. And we started our other show, Women Unlocking Wealth, this year with the idea and program to actually help women step into the 7 figures, 8-figure, 9-figure mark. And one of the things that we're doing there is creating a whole model to help these women business owners. And so that's something that we're super passionate about. But at this point, it's like, wow, like this is what we're doing. This is where we're going on that. And it wouldn't have happened if we didn't let go of all the other little things that as a business owner, we think we have to be a part of, right? Like I'm like, I don't have to be on this call over here. I can have so-and-so on this call. Like people want to connect. Like I am happy to connect on my time because I want to spend time with my family. Like, right, I know family is really important to you as well. It's like setting that time and expectation of where do you put that extra energy in? Is it hop in a random flight with like a text message the day before? Like I do stuff like that. Like my friend Randy Zuckerberg, she asked me to be at a golf tournament with her on a Sunday night. She texts me. She's like, can I fly you out to New York tomorrow, Monday to play in a golf tournament on Tuesday in New York? I'm like, yes, let's go.
I think so. Okay,
yes, let's go. I was literally just getting over COVID. I was like in the worst shape of my life. I still went out and she was like, oh my God, you showed up, and you're just like, but you show up, right? So what is it that's important in life and business to show up and see things through? And that's why when people make excuses in life or are doing different things, or they say they can't do this, or the timing's not right, timing's never right for anything. It's purely a choice and a decision of where you want to go next with your life, your business, your podcast, your journey, whatever that is. Like, it's purely a choice. Yeah. And I love the individuals that step up and take action for that next step, and the ones that try to figure it out, especially people that have that mindset of like, I don't have the budget for that. How do you make time and energy to create an opportunity that will bring in the budget, right? And those are the types of things we did over the years for our business. We took some huge risks with things, from going after, business loan opportunities. What is it that you allow to get you to the next level? You have to have a marketing budget, team budgets, costs for overhead, whatever that looks like. You do whatever you have to do to get the budget to go to the next level, because that will propel you on the next part. And so that's really what I'm passionate about, is like seeing through to the next part, to the next level, the next vision, but also bring everyone along with me. Like, they're a part of the journey. We're doing things together. We're building partnerships. We're helping our clients. We're connecting the dots. And that's really where I see our vision continuously growing.
This podcast episode is brought to you by FEMFORCE, the ultimate solution for entrepreneurs craving consistent professional content without the hassle. Say goodbye to content creation overwhelm and hello to streamlined process that delivers 50 to 60 stunning photos and short video clips in just 1 hour. With shoots held at Instagram-worthy locations across cities like Austin, Atlanta, Dallas, DC, Denver, Houston, Miami, Nashville, Phoenix, and Tampa, FEMFORCE ensures you have fresh visuals to elevate your brand every month. Whether you're launching a new product, updating your website, or keeping your social media vibrant, FEMFORCE Shoots has got you covered. Don't miss this game-changing opportunity to elevate your brand and finally get the content you deserve. I've got an exclusive code just for my listeners to get you started today. So you can stop waiting and start showing up like the boss you are. Click the link below and let FEMFORCE Shoots bring your brand to life. Yeah, I think that is like something that I've learned from you over this year. It's just how you do things. I remember when we came back from Vegas and I was like, you're like, what's your model look like? Let me see. Let's get on a Zoom call. Let's talk it out, and you sat with me for almost an hour. Didn't expect anything. You just were helping me. And I really went back and reevaluated, okay, my coaching, what does this look like? My price point, you're like, you need to work on this. So I had to take a step back and say, okay, how can I get to the next level? What are some things that I can do to get there? And investing in my own team now, because yes, family is important to me. So my business is around my family, but that's by choice. Like, I only go on speaking engagements between this time and this time. I only go here between this time and this time, and it works. My media is on this time and this time, and that works. And so while all that's happening, okay, how is my business able to make money for me? Well, I don't have to be in that meeting anymore. I can teach someone else. And so I started to look at kind of take the military into it too. Like, okay, my business is good. I can teach somebody how to run it. I can teach someone how to lead, right? I empower my soldiers all the time. So let me empower so I kind of like, okay, let that all spill over. So I have definitely learned that from you. And just even the power of relationships, because you definitely are the connector. You connect like, oh, how do you know them? Like, who is that?
I literally saw your lineup today on the Instagram feed, like of some of the people. I'm like, oh, I connected those two. Yeah. Because I know you're recording in studios. I know you do back-to-back recordings like we do. And so like, I was like, it's cool to see. Like, I connected them. You know, like. I get excited about it because I'm like, oh, people can just create more magic together. Like, the more people that the more people that you get introduced to that have the same vibe, the same energy, the same goals and core values, that's when you can really take off. So it's like, I'm always intentional with the introductions too, right? So there's, there's so many people out there. There's a lot of scammy people out there, there's a lot of individuals out there that are a lot of takers. And I get that energy thrown at me quite a bit, but I'm very good at that bubble, and I'm just used to it. Because people literally will just write me out of the blue and just be like, hey, I see you know so-and-so, can I have an introduction?
Oh, wow.
Like it's just like, hello, nice to meet you.
How you doing? You good? Okay.
Yeah, I'm like, let's see here. Well, let me get to know you first here. I think I kind of have a little bit of a sense from that first liner. But not some people are just nervous, right? So if they're like communicating and they're like, a lot of people come out and say like, hey, I love your show. How do I be on your show? Where is there a communication factor that's missing in these days and times where we can help individuals to learn a little bit more better communication style, providing the value first, having a conversation for a little bit before you really go into that pitch or things like that. And I see people trying to attempt that, but they still go in for a pitch rather quickly. So I think people can get the idea of like, hey, I'm going to have a short chat, and then they're like, boom. But the way that I see it is if somebody's really, truly interested in getting to know me, the business, or wants, access to the connections that we provide value to, you should get on a call. You should introduce yourself, and you should see how you can help provide for these individuals as well. Because there's a lot of people in my Rolodex that I could, send out things, but a lot of people I've also hired. Right. So I think people don't necessarily understand that when, one of my best friends, I hired her for $60,000 before we became really good friends. And she was my maid of honor. It was because my intuition and my sense of knowing said, I know, my soul told me, I know I need to know her. Mm-hmm. Like, it was just like this instant thing. And I was like, if this is the only way I can get in front of her to connect, I will hire. And I've done that through several high-level connections, which have then become power partners, good friends, collaborators that are like your ride or die type people at this point, where like you could text them out of the blue and they're happy to help. Yeah. Right. But then people need to understand that sometimes you need to invest in other people to get in front of them. And there's been people's on our shows, people at our events, there are people that we invest in to build that relationship, to show them who we truly are, versus a corporate company being like, hey, I have a $100,000 budget and I can hire JB Kern Lima today because yes, her budget is $100K just to even speak on a podcast.
Yes.
And Mel Robbins, example there. I mean, we reached out. I know the price point. So Mel Robbins is $175,000. Like people always say, hey, I want to be the next Mel Robbins. And she's got a great business model and story, but ideally the majority of people do not take off, on these shows. People want to be the next, but it's like, why don't you be the next to you? Right. Right. And like, that's what I love about your show. I mean, the title in itself is extreme. Like it's about you. Yeah. Right. And so that's what you do. And that's why I feel like we're creating more of a movement where we allow people to come through with this journey. Especially with our launch of our Women Unlocking Wealth, like there's a strong movement there. I mean, it's 1.9% of women only that hit like their 7-figure mark on the annual run. And so that's what's really hard for me to take in. I'm like, I was like, so many women have what it takes to go to the next part. You do not have to have a rock bottom story like myself that like, I was a shy, awkward girl. I was bullied in middle school. There was all the things that went with me. I'm still awkward. But at the same time, it's like, I'm just me, right? But I'm like super resilient. I'm super driven, super confident. And things that happen just happen and we just move forward. It doesn't matter if it's like a super high, like, yes, success win there, move forward. Fail right there. I mean, I never say it's a failure. It's just a learning lesson, basically. Anytime you fall over, you're like, just get back up. You didn't fail. You just fell over a little bit. You just
figure it out.
Project up this Sedona mountain hill, and so that's really what it takes, though. It's like, if you want to succeed, like when you want to succeed, you must take the action. You must put the investments in, and it takes risks because I've taken like multiple risks with multi-6-figure investments in masterminds, coaches, mentorship. I pay for $25,000 days to work with a mentor for 4 hours. Those are the types of things. And I didn't come from any money. I didn't come from anything. My mom was a small entrepreneur. I got that essence of building an entrepreneurship dream. She was more of a solo entrepreneur. My dad never built a company. He was in and out of jobs. He couldn't keep a job for more than 3 years at a time. And I was actually embarrassed when I was younger to know him. Gratefully, we made our amends as we got older and before he passed. But like, there's just certain things, like I didn't come from anything. It was all purely choice and experiences that are like, if you want something, invest in it, right? There's it's just constant like push and pull. Even when you have a company and you have a sales team, right? You check in with the sales team and say, hey, what is the objections? You know, oh, they don't have the money. Okay, then they're not necessarily qualified, or there's some kind of money issue in their money mindset issue, right? Those that are like, you know what? You know, it's tight on the budget, but I'm going to make it work. Those have the next level mindset. They're like, I'm seeing bigger pictures. I'm seeing how I can get my investment back from podcasting, from my business, and mentorship on that side. And so those are the types of things that I love to talk about at this point in this age.
Yeah, I think that people often see like the pretty side of it. Like, you know, oh my God, her podcast is in Vegas. It's at Sirius XM. Oh my God, that's great. But there's so much work that you do and so much work that I do as well, that behind the scenes, like the behind the scenes work, the failures or the lessons learned moments that you really have to take into consideration. And even like me finding a studio, I remember reaching out, like, I still haven't found one yet. This is hard. But I wanted it so bad. And I wanted to make sure that it fit me, like the people I work with here fit me, and I feel comfortable, and I'm really big on feeling comfortable. And so like, it's literally about how much do you want it and what you're willing to do to get it. And that's me sitting up late and driving far and going to visit these places and seeing what the energy's like and being like, oh my God, this is overwhelming. But it's just putting the work. How much do you want it? Because I want it bad.
Yeah, no, it takes time and energy, because yes, we tend to post more of the positive and abundance and the wins to social media. And, you know, occasionally I'll post like more polarizing things as well, where it will be like a comment or a statement or a quote of something, because a lot of the times people feed off the emotion of like a statement that's polarizing, right? But I'm not the individual that wants to go out and necessarily complain about something, or, you know, there's a venting moments that we all want to vent to somebody in life and business, if it's behind the closed doors with your family, or with a confidant, or a coach, or whoever you're working with. Like, yeah, it's not rainbows and butterflies for sure, and unicorns and everything else in the world. Maybe some popcorn. I really love popcorn. Like, give me some popcorn and it makes me happy.
And I'm good.
Yeah, I'm good with popcorn. And so, but yeah, it's one of those things that like, it's on social media, we can be and show and inspire. And that's really what attracts people to, because the more that people put out like negative energy or different polarizing content, you can have different conversations come through. But when you're building that momentum, you know, it's good to be raw and vulnerable through social media aspects, but I always say, like, don't make that the main focus. You can have these deep discussions on podcasts and other things like that, where people can learn from these trials and tribulations that you've gone through, because we've had many different, you know, trials and tribulations that we push through. And then like something might be like, okay, we're going to do this large investment. Now we're talking about going into the franchising space. Like, that's a big jump. Right. But we have the people that know how to do it. They've done it. They have the backing. They have the studio building experience, all this types of stuff. But it's a very large investment, right? So you put out a lot of time and energy and money to do the next step in hopes that the marketing efforts and everything will take off. So like, yeah, I mean, there's a lot of stuff and stress that goes on in business owners, founders, leaders' lives. And so that's what's interesting about it, is just like, try to stay on the positive note though, when you are sharing that journey. Like, be grateful. Like, I'm super grateful for everything that I went through, because I've learned a lot just about my own self and the way that people work and the ins and outs of the law system. As well. But, you know, it was interesting to see, because once I did sober up, I removed everybody that didn't serve me in my life. I basically cut all ties with all aspects of individuals that were colleagues, friends, people. There are a few people that stuck by me through my sobriety journey and that have watched me over the years. And it's funny, because they seep back into social media and be like, wow, I'm so proud of you. I knew you back when you were drinking in the bars and you worked at the gym and They're like, this is crazy. But I was like, it's not crazy. It's just like I went through this and I wanted more. And one of the things that I like to share on shows is it's okay to want more. Yeah. Like people think it's like a greed thing, and it's not. It's more of like the more that you can create out of life, the more that you can help others, the more money that you can generate in revenue, the more you can give back. Right. And so like last weekend, my wife and I went to a society for leukemia and cancer, and we gave back thousands. Mm-hmm. Like we were able to do that. She wanted this one particular silent basket with gemstones and stuff.
I saw that. I was like,
I'm just going to do the high bid there. And I was like, I didn't realize that it was just like the high bid automatically wins. I was like, I'm not competing with anybody. Like, yeah. I was like, oh, well, it's guaranteed she got it. Yep. She loves it. Right. And so like, those are the things though too, but we also behind the scenes have created Thompson & Thompson Investments, where our bigger picture is to give back to entrepreneurs. And so we're going into that journey too, but because we're building success and momentum and brands and a network of people that know, like, and trust us and believe in us, they're following our journey so that they can be a part of something also later in the future to give back. Right. Because we understand those journeys for sure. Like I'm hiring your first coach, right? Our first coach we hired was $10,000.
Yes.
I ended up negotiating because I'm a negotiator. They were like, nobody's ever done this before. That also happened in the courtroom. I was a negotiator. But it helped though. It benefited everybody. Right. So like they were like, sign up, for the $10,000 coaching program for 6 months. Sign up in full today, and you get it for $7,500. I was like, can I talk to you? I was like, when we enroll more clients into our program in the next 45 days, I'm happy to sign an agreement. When we sign up for this and we pay you $7,500 in full in 45 days, will you accept the $7,500, the pay in full savings option for the 10K offer? And they're like,
wait a minute.
They're like, okay. So like, you don't know unless you ask. Mm-hmm. Everyone comes to me like, how do you know so-and-so? How did you get in front of so-and-so? Like, I was persistent. I asked, I got connections. I texted someone, do you know this person? Do you know someone that can connect me to this person? How to, if you don't ask, you don't know. Yeah. And then the power of following up on the ask, like on certain scenarios, you can get farther much faster. Right. And so it's like, that's like my mentality. Negotiation is great in my space, but also like giving back. But then also like, who do I know in my network that's now understands who I am and how the value I give them? Who are they also going to open the doors to for me? So it's like lead for them first, then ask, because that's where it will go. And I don't feel guilty on asking by any means, because I know that I've provided some sort of value. And these individuals are close to these individuals, but they will not make introductions unless they trust you as well. Yes. And so that's really like how I think and feel with individuals. So it's cool to see the network grow. I don't talk to these individuals every day or every week or every month, but it's good to have people in your space and they know you, they know what you're about, and they know what you do. So that's how I work.
I am, like I said, I'm very thankful to have connected with you. I learned so much from you. I love watching your journey and all the podcasts you're starting. And every time you're going to speak, I'm like, she's really doing that. And so you are, you're doing it.
I'm excited. I was asked to speak at Destiny Fest. So like alongside like Lisa Nichols, yes, Joe Polish, John Lee. That's probably one of the bigger stages that I've spoken on. I also spoke at Icon with like Marcus Lemonis and some other big names, Jillian Michaels. But it's just like having those opportunities and for people being able to meet you and recognize you. We've already got plans to meet up with some other people that are having a mastermind like a few days later with that to meet with their community as well. So it's like, what can you do with the time that you have with those experiences too? Like, how can you get in other people? And if people want to speak on more stages, reach out and see how you can help serve them first, right? Like, what is it that they're truly looking for versus like, hey, I'd love to be a speaker. This is what I can talk on. And this is what I know. Me. It's like, what are you looking for? What would be valuable? What do you have so far would this make sense? So I believe that's probably one of the reasons. And this individual at hosting this one event, he literally was like, I can see you're a connector like myself. And he very much had a call with this individual yesterday. And I thought it was very interesting because I was like, you're like the male version of me. We were like, we had like the award-winning filmmaking background. And like, we love connecting the dots. We love masterminding. We're connected with really awesome people that are humble. It was just really a refreshing conversation. And so when you meet those people, you want to help support their communities even more. So
absolutely. I want to thank you so much for being a part of my platform and being a part of the Beauty in You podcast. It's been absolutely amazing.
Well, thank you so much, Chiquita, for having me. I'm blessed to have you in our lives and a part of our networking community as well. You've been a great, person to get to know, and I'm excited to watch your journey continue to rock it with your show and your studio and your business. And I love watching your journey behind the scenes on Instagram. So if any of you are not following her on Instagram, go follow this beautiful lady.
Thank you. And can you tell the audience where they can actually connect with you on Instagram?
Yeah. So personally, I love Instagram. So that's where I hang out. So it's Tamara Thompson official. Apparently Tamara Thompson was taken. So Tamara Thompson official is my profile. You could also follow our show, Broadcast Your Authority, on Instagram as well to check out some of our episodes. And Chiquita's obviously on our show as well. So you have to check out her episode. And so, yeah, I mean, that's my biggest place. I'm on TikTok, I'm on Facebook, I'm on LinkedIn. Those are not where I typically hang out. My team manages those accounts for me. If you want to try to get into say hello, Instagram's where it's at.
Instagram, send her a DM, but communicate properly first.
Hey, can I be on your show?
No, probably not going to work, guys.
I block. No.
All right, you guys, if you are listening to this wherever you stream your podcast, make sure to leave a review. And if you are streaming this on YouTube, go ahead and hit subscribe. All right, you guys, until next time.